listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fanrun Radio.
Can't take any of them for granted, ladies and gentlemen. You can't take any of these days for granted. It's a beautiful fall day here in East Tennessee. Not going to spend another fall in Philadelphia. As we're live today here with you in your Ray Mirror studio, it's absolutely outstanding. And we wait. I thought something was going to happen yesterday. That was my instinct. And it proved to be incorrect. But this Tony Vitello thing is extremely interesting. He's extremely interesting. He's compelling. It's compelling. I was on George Plaster's show yesterday for my weekly appearance, and we did nothing but talk about essentially the Tony Vitello story. That's how big Tony Vols is, Sean Sinclair. That's how big he is, man. That's kind of where we are. Now, today on the program and today in the blog, I shifted to football because that's what we do here. A man ain't living on Tony Vols alone, and this man certainly ain't. And but we await what's going to happen. Cinco, your thoughts on this? Have you ever seen anything like this in all your born days?
Well, I can't recall anything like this. Certainly not from a Tennessee baseball perspective. We have had a absolute, with a couple of exceptions, ship of fools running this program through the decades that you and I have been affiliated with UT. So it's great that we're getting this kind of attention. But you know what, Tony, the big things happen around here with disruptors, and he is a disruptor. You take a look at Bruce Pearl, whether it's buying pizza outside before a Florida game, and Bruce Pearl, whether he's the best coach, whether Rick Barnes, I don't know, but he was a disruptor. Ray Mears was a disruptor with his pants, with the unicycles, with all that stuff. And I'll remind people that Bruce Pearl got a lot of things done besides the joy we all got. Bruce Pearl built that Pratt Pavilion. That was something that everybody had wanted back in the day, but the great Pat Summitt didn't have enough juice. That doesn't mean she wasn't great, but she didn't have enough juice. And Bruce Pearl did. And he disrupted things and got things in there, got Tennessee relevant with multiple Florida wins, etc. We've had other disruptors in here. John Majors was a disruptor. Dickey was a disruptor at times. And then Tony Vitello is a disruptor. And what I mean by disruptor is 80s try to put these folks in boxes and try to control them and try to tell them the way things are going to happen and what money you're going to. And Vitello's he's not having it. He didn't have it when he wanted more money for his staff. He wasn't having it when he was lobbying to get the stadium built. He's not having it now. When there's all sorts of things swirling. I've known you for 40 years. You've never lied to me before. You were wrong sometimes. However, that's the nature of calling things at present instead of the day after when 95% of the people report stuff.
Thank you
but
for
anyway,
saying that. That's exactly right.
Seriously.
That's exactly
the risk you take.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the point being that I think we all know, and you certainly have juice, whether people like it or not. And he's not sitting still while his money that he's earned is going to be shunted off to other programs. And this, like you said, this has nothing to do with Kim Caldwell.
No,
we all wish her a national championship. We all wish her to have a statue made.
Respect her. Yes.
But
yes.
Let's get real. There's one national championship coach on that campus right now. And they're trying to marginalize them, and I don't like it, and he doesn't like it.
I think what this comes down to with the Giants is I think the Giants' offer's on the table still. I think there's a couple of issues there that could impede whether or not it happens. We'll see. But I think one of the things Tony's wrestling with is, because we're in a new era, I don't think a lot of people realize this, and I don't know that I've really explained it tremendously well. Larry Vaught's going to join us, by the way, after our first time out. We're going to drill down on Kentucky, but Tennessee is attempting to play by the rules. And what I mean by that is the rev share money is how we're going to pay athletes. These front-loaded deals you can't do now. Can't do the Nico deal for $8 million anymore. The NCAA wants you to show actual value in the marketplace for what I'm going to pay you NIL-wise. Now, I was talking to somebody that is in the Southeastern Conference. It used to be here, and he said, Tony, if you don't think these programs are doing workarounds, they're all going to do workarounds around this thing. But for now, it's the law of the land, and the straitjacket people like Danny White, who's total institutional guy, are going to follow the letter of the law because that's who they are, and that's okay. You need guys like that. I'm not knocking Danny White, but he and Tony couldn't be any more different. And people misunderstand this. They say, well, why can't like a Larry Pratt go and make up the difference, right, to these players who are going to be shorted for money they were promised? That's not how that's going to work. See, the money on the front end was supposed to be there because it was supposed to be there, and it's been kind of cut. No, it hasn't been kind of cut. It's been cut. And so it's not as easy as just going, well, here's your 100,000, here's your 200,000, here's your. But here's the thing. All these sports going forward are going to have to deal with this, because my contention is this $22 million thing for these teams that have a lot of money. For instance, Ohio State's payroll this year is somewhere between $35 and $40 million. You think Ohio State next year is going to be able to put a football team on the field for $17 million? Or by the time they give a little bit to basketball and a little bit to their minor sports, let's say their payroll's $15 million. You think they're going to be able to put a football team on the field commensurate with that, and the kids are going to be happy? The answer is no. But that's the box we're in right now. Unless you justify, well, this guy's going to get. I mean, there's very few Arch Mannings out there that can say, well, I'm going to get a $6 million deal with this. Or a good example is Nate Ament over at Tennessee with New Balance has I believe it's New Balance, has like a $5 million endorsement deal on top of what Tennessee's paying him. He's making like $8 or $9 million, whatever the fee is, whatever the money is. Going forward, you're going to have to justify any money I'm going to pay you unless that's challenged. Now, eventually, it's all going to be challenged, and eventually that cap's going to be challenged because that cap was not collectively bargained with these athletes. But for now, we're in a spot where Tennessee's stuck, and I was talking to somebody close to Tony who said it comes down to this. In Tony's mind, next season, what if Danny White claws more money back from me? He just doesn't feel like he can trust the AD, and he doesn't have a relationship with him. Because here's who Danny White is, and people can believe this or not believe this or like it, love it, or take it down the road and dump it. But you talk to people inside that athletic department, and people don't see or talk to Danny White. He doesn't have a relationship with people. It's not how he is. Danny White talks to his coaches through his lieutenants. Well, guess what? His lieutenant for baseball left to take a gig, I want to say like at Utah State. But his lieutenant for baseball is not there. So Tony's relationship and Danny's relationship is negligible. That's not how you manage. Tony wouldn't manage like that. Tony wouldn't manage his players not having a relationship with his players. I mean, why would you do that? But that's Danny White's management style because he's the king. And people say, well, you're just, you're against. I don't. There's a lot of things about the guy I like. There's a lot of things I don't like. There's a lot of things about Tony I like, a lot of things I don't like. I don't think Tony's a very good, in-game manager. I've said that on here. He frustrates me. He didn't like me saying that, but there's no denying Tony's great at what he does. Danny's very good at what he does. But I don't worship Danny. I don't simp for Danny like some of you do. I'm not a simp. And I'm not a wimp, by the way. Not a simp, not a wimp. For you to have a management style where you don't have a relationship with your baseball coach makes no sense. But that's how Danny does it. Danny likes this coach he talks through this guy for this coach, this guy manages and this, I'm the king. And then when your guy leaves, And now it comes time to put this thing together. And Tony's talked to Danny. This is just from somebody close to Tony. Tony's not talking to me, and I'm not bothering Tony. I'm not. Literally like one time since all this happened on Saturday. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Anyway, that's it for me. Tony is a disruptor. A Tony Vols and a Danny White are never going to get along. And Tony's mind, can I trust this guy going forward? That's a big piece of this. Now, as I said yesterday, if he takes the San Francisco Giants job, it's because he wants to take the San Francisco Giants job. Period, end of sentence. It's not going to be that Danny White ran him out of town like some of you are going to, I'm not trying to tag this on Danny, but Danny's management style, for a guy they gave the keys to the kingdom to in a 4-year rollover, is really strange. He's strange, and it's strange. No offense. Hey, I'm a little weird myself, and I called Tony nuts in print the other day. My quote was, Tony's kind of nuts, and it works for him, which is what Sean was just saying. The disruptive nature, the way to get Tennessee baseball off the mat was to be a disruptor. The way to lose a disruptor is to not have a relationship with him. Because Tony's a paisan. You know what I'm saying? Like, sit down, break bread. Let's go have some spaghetti. Let's drink a little red wine. Let's hang out. Let's get a little vino. You know what I'm saying? Danny White, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So we continue with more. Larry Vaught on the other side, Vaught's Views after this. We talk about the doormat of the Southeastern Conference, your Kentucky Wildcats.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Fall has officially arrived, so now is the perfect time to make sure your home's heating and HVAC system is ready for the season ahead. Don't ignore the warning signs that your heating or cooling system is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need fast, reliable HVAC repairs, seasonal preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new high-efficiency system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Whatever HVAC problems you encounter, our certified technicians will make a full assessment and then provide the best long-term solution to keep your home comfortable again all year long. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Oh, pause for the cause, ladies and gentlemen, because, while the show's going on, I'm also wearing my reporter hat. I'm wearing my traffic cop hat. I'm wearing my produce the program hat. I'm wearing a lot of hats. And the funny thing is I don't have any hair to cover up. But other than that, things are great. Now, my next guest who joins us on the TLD Logistics hotline is none other than the great Larry Vaught of Vaught's Views. And I would bet you, because Larry calls an ace and a spade. Larry's come on here during several basketball games in years past, and Then he'll hear from the big blue constituents. They'll say, I cannot believe you'd go on that guy's show and say we're going to lose tonight. And Larry's line is, look, my job is to kind of call balls and strikes. But he's at Vaught's views. And Larry, how long have you been around Kentucky sports?
Well, I've officially been covering Kentucky sports this is my 51st year now.
Good night almighty.
Yeah. I wish I could say I started young, but that's not the case. So it's just been a while, but still enjoy what I'm doing and hope to keep doing it. Hope I got a few more years left in me.
Larry, do you get a sense that the Stoops era there is winding down, or do they not care enough there because they got their eyes on the big prize with hoops? All these schools are being forced. It's one of the conversations we're having about Tennessee baseball today and Tony Vitello's opportunity with the Giants is with this rev share thing, these schools are being forced to choose where I'm going to put my resources, right? Kentucky's kind of chosen basketball over football, haven't they?
From all we can tell, of course, there's no official reporting, so everything you're just kind of guessing, but it sure seems that way, and it's probably going to be even more so that way going forward.
And so from that perspective, what was the expectation of Kentucky coming into this year, coming off a year last year where they won one game in the league, and it was a game that kept Lane Kiffin out of the playoffs? What was the expectation for this club from your eyes?
Well, from my eyes, it's the expectation is exactly where they are. I didn't think they would be very good. The real red flags flew for me when Vince Mera left Kentucky for Louisville. I mean, I know Vince caught a lot of heat from Kentucky fans, but this is a guy that has put a lot of work into trying to rebuild the Kentucky program. It felt like the last couple of years, the program was going a direction that wasn't what he thought was best for it. Didn't agree with some of the decisions, and he had a chance to go be able to stay in Kentucky, which he really loves, go work for another guy that he really likes and that he thought the program was trending better than what the Kentucky program is. And that really opened some eyes for me. But I just thought Kentucky was leaning on the transfer portal way too heavy again. And when you looked at the guys they were getting, if you wanted to put on your blue glasses and just look, you could say, the third team receiver at Auburn or third team receiver at Clemson or third team receiver at Alabama, he's going to be great at Kentucky. Well, no, there's a reason they weren't great at other places and they're not great here. And offensive lineman in this day and age, if an offensive lineman is not being kept where he's at, there's a big red flag there because they're so hard to get. You're not going to let a really good offensive lineman leave, and they were going to rebuild their offensive line with transfers. So I just wasn't a big fan of what I thought they had done. And I think in the last few years, Mark has probably also made a couple of miscalculations on his coaching staff, and that's showing this year again.
Yeah, and then the Cohen kid's really done a nice job. I mean, the last outing in Jacksonville notwithstanding, but are you surprised by how successful that kid's been?
A little bit. I knew he was a terrific football mind. I wasn't sure the maturity level that he would be ready to make a jump to become a head coach in the NFL like what he has, but I think he's shown he can handle everything really well. And to think that when he was at Kentucky for the second time, that things didn't go any better than what they did, again, kind of tells you something about the upper management leadership there that Kentucky has right now. I mean, that's a tough jump to go from a college offensive coordinator or an NFL assistant at his age and just jump up there and be an NFL head coach. But he's the coaching part of it, he handles well. Sometimes the PR part of things he doesn't handle so well, but the coaching part he handles well.
Larry Vaught joining Vaught's Views, Tennessee, Kentucky, Saturday night. A series that Tennessee plays up there no matter what Kentucky has, no matter what Tennessee has. Those games are crazy. They're insane. They're nuts. And this quarterback from Kentucky, I like him from the perspective of he goes out and gives it all he has. I know he's a in-state kid, and you can tell it means a lot to him to get the opportunity. And, man, The Cats, they played Texas off their feet the other night, Larry.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, they should have won. I don't think you'll ever look at a game and see statistics that look like that, and you wonder how in the world did Kentucky lose. You just look at the numbers on the stat sheet, you think Kentucky won 35-7, but miscalculated. They didn't cover 2 punts. That gave Texas 10 points, and that was the difference in the game. You can't get it in from the 3-yard line to start overtime, and then you go ahead and on 4th down, decide you're going to run the same play that hadn't worked 6 times during the game rather than kick a field goal. If you're going to run that same play up the middle, I think you got to kick the field goal. But again, they didn't, and once again, they lost a game that they should have won. Easily the best game Kentucky has played. I think Texas is probably way overrated. They are actually worse on offense than Kentucky, which I didn't think anybody could really be able to say that they were. But they made Kentucky defense look like they were ready to play in the NFL. Texas was just pathetic on offense, and Kentucky by far had the best quarterback on the field. And as you said, Cutter Boley is getting better. He's an athletic kid. He's a tough kid. He just doesn't have – when you don't have a receiver that can get open 7 yards down the field, it makes it hard to play quarterback in the SEC.
Larry Vaught joining 50-plus years, you heard him, of covering the Cats. And, I go back to, Larry, I remember a game when Billy Jack Haskins ran around on a Saturday afternoon. I mean, these games with Kentucky are nuts. My first exposure was fall of 88 87 when Victor Peppers went high and met Mark Higgs on the goal line, real close, just a cold day up there in Lexington. Just in the kind of before the stadium was finished, when the winds would really whip through that place, when the end zones were a little more open. But I don't know what it is about these games. Obviously, it means a lot to Kentucky. It's going to mean a lot to that Boley kid this weekend. But I want to go back to Texas real quick before we unpack the Cats and Cats' opportunity here, because the Vols are very middling right now when they go on the road. They've got an interesting gear they go into on the road in the SEC that's been sort of a theme around here this week. But let's talk about Texas. I did a little column today about kind of the 2/3 point of the season, and I put my favorite players in there to watch, my biggest disappointments in college football. My biggest disappointment in college football is Arch Manning and Texas, okay? That's a team that has the second highest payroll in college football. That's a team that spends so much money that they went out in the offseason and got a starting defensive tackle from Syracuse because the 2 guys they brought in they didn't like in camp. So they went in the spring and spent a couple more $1 million. And they're tracking to miss the playoffs. Now, you saw them. Is it more an offensive line issue or an Arch Manning issue, or is it hard to tell after what you saw on Saturday?
I would say it was both. The Kentucky defensive line controlled the Texas offensive line. And then, as I said, Cutter Boley looked just like a far superior quarterback to Arch. He made a run or two and made 1 or 2 decent throws. But, I mean, he missed a lot of open receivers, just didn't seem very confident in what he was doing. And the Texas offense, like I said, I didn't think he could see a worse offense than what the Kentucky offense had been, but it certainly was. And then the Texas defense, who had heard so much about how terrific it was, and Kentucky rolls up almost 400 yards on Texas and keeps the ball the whole second half. I mean, Texas had 2 first downs the second half. 2
first downs.
Who? It's hard to believe.
Yes.
With that payroll that they've got.
Yes.
You could get that without a payroll, I think.
I mean, they're performing. Look, there are several teams that still have great odds to make the playoffs. They're one of them. I don't buy it. I don't see those guys going to a playoff. Do you, Larry?
No, I don't. I mean, which I've assumed to go to the playoff, they've got to run the table, and I can't see any way in the world they're going to do that.
Is that the key for Kentucky's success against Tennessee, keeping the ball, playing keep away?
Yeah, I think that would certainly enhance their chances, because even though their defense just shut down Texas, they've had a lot of struggles. I mean, they've been giving up over 400 yards a game going into that Texas game and have been pretty vulnerable to the pass. Their defensive front has been pretty good, but they've had a lot of issues covering receivers, and Tennessee's got the best trio in the conference. I think Kentucky's going to have a lot of problems there. So if their offense can keep the ball, would certainly help. Now, Seth McGowan, their best running back, he got banged up last week during the game, Tony, but they sent him to the hospital for an x-ray. When it came back negative, he came back and tried to finish the game. So I don't know exactly how healthy he is going to be, but if they can run the ball, then they've got a chance. Then Boley can make some plays, and they seem to kind of settle into a little bit better offensive rhythm. Last week, the offensive coordinator, I hope, did a much better job of calling plays that suited Cutter. But the bottom line is still they can't get a receiver open 10 yards down the field, which means Cutter completed 80% of his passes last week. That's why they have no margin for error, because they can't hit you with an explosive. They just don't have it in the offense.
Yeah, that's why on paper you look at a game like this. Like if I was watching it from 10,000 feet, I'd say, my gosh, Tennessee's going to boat race them. But the issue is Larry, you got to see it to believe it. I use this phrase too much on the air, and I have a tendency to wear things out. Larry, I'm Italian, kind of like that, But our safety play, when you watch them, reminds me of the old electric football game that you and I played, where you put the men on the board and you line them up, and you had the felt football, and it was the dumbest game of all time. Except the guys looked really cool on the board until you started it. And then you had guys over there hugging the wall, taking horrendous pursuit angle. Our guys look like electric football in our secondary and sometimes in our linebacking core. And that's the thing that concerns me, because this Boley guy, if you can unpack him for us, because forgive most people listening, they're not staring at the cats when they're playing football these days. This kid's pretty resourceful and pretty nimble out there. He's got a pretty decent sense of what he's trying to do, doesn't he, Larry?
Yeah, I just you might think your linebackers and secondary guys look like NFL first-round draft picks after the way they cover Kentucky Saturday, but we'll see. but Boley against Texas, which I think is a quality defense,
very good defense. Yes,
several times he looked like he was dead in the water, and he scrambled and maneuvered out and made some big runs. I mean, he had close to 20-yard touchdown run that tied the game, and he had a couple other scrambles that were pretty big. And I think they're in overtime. The one time they didn't run it up the middle, and let Boley kind of roll out with it a little bit. I think if he just stayed outside, he probably would have scored then. But he kind of got that touchdown mentality, and I think he thought he could cut inside. He was just going to try to run over that one defender and get the quickest pass to the end zone. But it didn't work out. That's just kind of his mentality. He's a tough kid. I think his athleticism is a little undersold to people, because they really had a chance to see it, because they're getting sacked and beat up in the backfield like what he was. It's hard. Yeah. But he finally got a chance to show it a little bit. So you've got to respect his running ability. That's not what he wants to do, but he can do it. And also, again, if he gets people open, he can deliver the ball pretty well, and he's fearless. Sometimes his worst thing is he thinks he can fit the ball in anywhere, and he made a couple of mistakes earlier in the season trying to do that. He only really threw one bad pass the other night. But part of it with a quarterback, I think sometimes you have to live with him believing he can do that, because you don't want him to not have any confidence to go ahead and throw it. And I think at times Mark Stoops has kind of handcuffed his quarterbacks by hammering at them so much, don't turn it over. Then they sit back there and look hesitant. Then we're bitching and moaning, well, why didn't he throw the ball? Yeah. Well, because he's afraid if he throws an interception, his coach is going to take him out of the game.
What are other worry areas for Kentucky? You talk about Tennessee's wide receivers getting loose. Are there any other particular worry areas for this one from a Kentucky perspective? Because, look, beating Ole Miss last year to keep them out of a playoff is one thing. Beating the Vols to keep them out of a playoff, I mean, Larry, there would be jubilation in the Commonwealth from Louisville fans might light up a stogie for that one,
Yeah, they might. And I think the game falls at a good time for Kentucky, because I think if they were playing anybody other than Tennessee this week, coming off that Texas loss, I don't know what the mindset would be of that team. But I think playing Tennessee will kind of get the juice going again, because, I mean, that was such a bitter loss last week. But I think that getting back to playing Tennessee, knowing what it means to fans, I think a lot of fans will still show up for this game. If this one doesn't go well for Kentucky, I don't know how many will show up for the rest of the season. But for this game, they'll still have a good crowd. And there'll be a lot of Tennessee fans there too, I'm sure. But I still think Kentucky's biggest fear, I think they feel like they could adequately contain the run. But I think the fear's got to be how many explosives could they give up, knowing that the chances of Kentucky having just one explosive play is pretty slim.
It is extremely interesting to consider all these games right now. Larry, you've been around here longer than I have. I don't ever remember a time where these SEC teams lay one on top of the other the way they do. And what happened in Kentucky's building last Saturday night is proof positive of that. Because on paper, you would think, and you said it earlier, if you just went payroll-wise, I would probably venture to guess that Texas's payroll is probably 4 times higher than Kentucky's, like literally up by 4. And so from that perspective, they're probably spending near $50 million, like Ohio State. Those are the reports. Who knows? But we all know it's bigger and badder in Texas. But it makes no sense that the game would be that close unless you consider that Tennessee right now has played 2 of the dregs teams in the league, and they were both close games. Arkansas, and then an overtime win with Mississippi State. And the Vols have playoff aspirations. Texas has playoff aspirations, and they escaped Kentucky by the hair on their chinny chin chin. The league is just, Larry, it's nuts this year, man.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of margin for error, even from the top teams to the teams that are at the bottom on that one day. And again, Kentucky had a lot of things go right. They fumbled 4 times last week and fell on every one of them. I mean, that's just unheard of at Kentucky. Usually this goes up. They muffed 2 punts and got back on both of them. Those kind of things usually don't go Kentucky's way. So all that went Kentucky's way, but they just didn't finish when they had a chance to finish the game. And I think just the mentality, Josh has never lost in Lexington. I think his team is a terrible matchup for Kentucky because Tennessee can score. And the game last year that Kentucky beat Mississippi, or the game that they almost beat Georgia last year, or the game that they almost beat Tennessee, almost beat Texas this year, those are Mark Stoops type games where the score doesn't get out of hand. They doesn't have to get in a scoring contest with you like they did a couple of years ago with Tennessee. And even though they lost it, and they had some weapons, they could do that. But this year, if Tennessee gets to 20, I think the game's over. That's just the way it is. And probably if you get to 17, the game's over. Kentucky hasn't scored over 2 touchdowns in an SEC game in almost 3 years now.
Yeah, I noticed that that total we were talking about on our winners and losers program presented by Dos Equis the other day. With a total in the Texas game for Kentucky, the team total was what, like 10 points, 9.5, 10, something like that?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just.
That's nuts.
An offense that can't produce.
Yes. Just Larry, that's going to be tested this weekend because wait till you see the angles we're going to take on these guys. You're going to be like, wow, Tony's a semi-smart guy. Actually, you've never thought that. On the way out, Larry, your thoughts on how the Cats look. Tennessee's got Duke on Sunday in a sold-out Thompson Bowling Arena in an exhibition game. I'd say hoops matter around here as well. We'll have a Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime after that game. So we'll be having a call-in show, Larry, after a preseason game that's going to be a sold-out game against Duke. Larry, I guess it matters here too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just insane to think here we're not even to Halloween. We got Kentucky Purdue playing Friday night at Rupp Arena. You've got Tennessee Duke. It's just nuts that we're having this before you're right at the midway point of the football season, and here you are already having these type of games. Because, like I say, if the Kentucky Purdue game goes really well for Kentucky Friday night, and then Tennessee puts it on Kentucky Saturday, it's all basketball up here from then on. All basketball.
So it'll officially be basketball season come midnight madness.
Yeah, I think it will. It'll be basketball season and Mark Stoops watch season.
Hey, Larry, give the living listener the coordinates. I love talking to you. Many happy returns. I hope you enjoy the game Saturday night, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, man.
Well, thank you. You can read us up at VautzViews.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at VautzViews.
Thank you, my man. 50 plus,
Anytime, Tony.
50 plus years of covering the Cats as he appeared on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Hey, Sean Sinclair, I'll tell you one thing about the league this year. I take zero, and I mean zero of these league games for granted. And I mean zero of these league games for granted, Sean. Zero.
I agree with you, and I think it's exciting. I mean, obviously, I didn't like the game this past week at Tuscaloosa. However, it just illustrates the fact that the margin of talent, the gap between teams, for the most part, is very narrow now. Georgia and Alabama, and Texas, for that matter, are no longer stockpiling 5 stars. They have their share, but they're no longer out of whack with the rest of the league. And the importance, and we saw it, the importance of playing clean football, and bringing your B plus A game every week is going to be important, because we cannot count on just packing the truck up, going up to Lexington, rolling the ball out, and coming home 3 hours later. Those days are over. I mean, if Vanderbilt doesn't teach you one thing, if Mississippi State doesn't teach you one thing, Kentucky last week, I mean, I hate to say it, losers lose, but it is what it is.
Yes.
But a bounce here and there, or a bad call, or a bad coaching decision, and Kentucky wins that game and shows everybody just how competitive this league is.
Essentially, Kentucky's loss to Texas hung on 2 special teams plays, and that's how bad Texas's offensive line is, and that's how of a low level Arch Manning's playing at as well. I mean, that's just none of that seemed possible before the year. None of that. Now look, Texas's playoff hopes, and if you want to go look at the blog today at tclub.team, I went through a myriad. C helped me with it. We put a myriad of things together in terms of the best teams in the league right now. We tiered the teams, and I'm not even sure I like the tier of the teams in the SEC, but we did it, and I gave him veto power because he's smarter than I am, and my name's on the blog and the show. What do I know? But I know enough to defer, I'll tell you that. But there's a glut of teams in the league right now outside of the top 3 that are fighting for either 1 or 2 spots. Because Georgia, they're going to continue to win with mirrors somehow, Sean, and they're going to get into the playoffs, and we should have beaten them. Auburn should have beaten them, and Ole Miss should have beaten them last weekend. But they just keep, right to your point, the power of belief, and they're not doing little things well, but they continue to win games. But eventually they're going to get got, Sean, for the second time. Eventually they're going to get got. But for right now, I put them all alone in Tier 2. And in Tier 3, there's a glut of teams, including Tennessee, including the LSUs of the world, including the Oklahomas of the world. Those 2 teams I will sell for playoff purposes. But you've got Ole Miss in that lot. You've got several other teams as well. There's like 6 or 7 of them that are all going to fight for 1 or 2 of the playoff spots there down the stretch. And I don't know how you tell them apart, Sean. I'll tell you this right now. People can laugh at this. That Vanderbilt game is going to be one hell of a hard game for the Vols to win. Here, there, or anywhere, Sean. That's going to be a really tough game the way we're playing on defense for us to win.
Absolutely, and that's unfortunately that's what makes it exciting to the neutral viewer.
Agreed.
It's watching a game not with your hometown team.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting and compelling. If you take a look here, and I blame nobody, and I focus in on nobody for this. It's just a margin of error right now, which is important.
Yep.
You have a missed field goal that takes us from beating Georgia.
Yep.
I'm not blaming the kid, but that's the play. And we lost by 17 in Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
You take a 14-point swing at the end of the half and a 2-point absolute avoidable safety. That's 16 points. And you're within 1 point in Tuscaloosa with who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Again, I don't blame either of those players.
Yeah.
But that's the when people say that, it was just a drop here, was just a drop there. No, it's not. All of these plays are important, and you can't take time off, or you're going to find yourself in the losing column. And like us, Now we have to run the table to even be in the contention for the playoff.
That's right. And the margin of error as you go down the stretch in the season becomes less and less. The thing we don't know, Bri, and you said it this year, Brian predicted this back in the summer. I give Brian a lot of credit because I was on here penning in a loss for the Florida game. Bri said, Billy Napier's not going to be there, Tony. Look at that schedule. Brian's right. Can't pen in a loss when you have an interim coach. Now, when you're fooling around with the Volunteers and you're talking about playing at Florida, you can't pen in a win either, unfortunately, Bri.
Well, now I kind of feel like I'd feel better if Billy Napier were still there.
Yep. I was looking at their schedule last night, preparing that blog, and look, that they win one of their next three. Kentucky's one of their next three. They win one of their next three. They're going to be fighting for bowl eligibility at the end of the year in a 500 season, and their coach is fun, and everybody likes the new guy. Everybody likes the new guy. Their new offensive coordinator is a kid that was an analyst before the year, so who the heck knows? You couldn't pick him out of a police lineup. Nobody knows who he is. I don't even remember his name, but it's in the blog today. And listen, the thing about all this stuff is this is a week-to-week proposition. But to Sean's point, and it's one of the things that kind of concerns me about Heupel's not approach, but just the way his teams play. It's really a down-to-down proposition now. And it's a details-to-details proposition in this league. The closer these teams get together, the more those David Cutcliffe-like details matter. And I always think back to the Fulmer era. Fulmer with David Cutcliffe, Fulmer without David Cutcliffe, two completely different eras. Two completely different eras. And I wonder if Heupel needs... we've had this conversation this week. I just wonder if he needs a detail guy around him. I really do. And I wonder if he'll do that. I wonder if he'll come to that, because inevitably we can talk about it till we're blue in the face. You can chat about it on your local chat board. You can sit on your back porch with your best friends and talk about it. You could mention it to him at a cocktail party. But until he comes to that conclusion, it's going to be kind of the same thing, Sean, right? Because that's one thing that's kind of marred his era. And he does a really nice job, but the devil's always in the details. And the details here a lot of times just don't get done for whatever reason. And maybe that's the game. Maybe I'm being myopic, and that's just the whole sport of college football. Maybe that's an unfair take. I will readily admit that.
Well, as you said, there's it's a very slight margin, and yet it's a great distance between being Tier 3 and Tier 1.
Yes.
Forget the fact that nobody's throwing around money like Ohio State, but do you want to be in Alabama's position, or do you want to be in Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, et cetera? So the thing is, you can't just brush off at the podium several muffed punts, a missed extra. I mean, an obvious fake punt.
Yeah.
You cannot keep tolerating multiple missed tackles game after game after game. You have to walk down the hallway and talk to your defensive coordinator and say, look, pal, whatever we got to do, that ain't working. Come up with something different. And that doesn't mean you fire somebody, but you cannot keep tolerating the same things over and over, or you are not going to be part of that upper tier. And if you don't have a landslide of NIL money and talent like Ohio State, you better button up the things you can control.
Yeah, because controlling the controllables going forward in this league is going to be where it's at. There's very little doubt that's true. We'll take a brief timeout. Upon the continuance, hold your phone calls because Watson Brown's going to join us. So Wednesday with Watson, then we'll get into some phone calls and break it down scientifically. But in the meantime, a brief TO. We continue with more on the other side. Watson Brown joins right after this.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted grade A grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka, and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka, distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Basilio here. No one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm here to tell you, living Vol fan, only one place. That's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, and that's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands like Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. Load up on hats, accessories, Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Download the Alumni Hall app, click account, and it'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Alumni Hall, with physical locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, and 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get ready and tell them Tony B sent you. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family-owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
And I want to say go Vols back to you, Josh Collins, who I talked to yesterday, who fires me up, focuses me, and prepares me. Each and every time that I visit with him, it's unbelievable, Andy. Shout out to Jen Morris, visiting with Austin the other day. He says he loved seeing you. Those are good people. In the meantime, I'm back with you on the one, the only. It is your Basilio Show. We are pumped to be with you. Watson Brown, it's a Wednesday with Watson. He is presented by our friends at Simpsons Meats, online at simpsonsmeats.com. Wednesday with Watson Brown. Watson, how we doing, my man?
I'm doing good, Tony. Beautiful, beautiful weather. I don't know how long it's going to stay this way, but it's just gorgeous up here. Down here, I guess, from y'all. Up and down here.
Well, I was just thinking about the nice long walk I'm going to take in the park this afternoon, and then I realized that I still got some physical therapy that I've got to do for my back, Watson, and I'm very tempted to punt on that, but they tell me it's very important, even when you start feeling a little better, to see it through with your therapy and to get on the other side of what I've been through. So I'm not going to be a hardhead. I'm going to be a good patient, and I'm going to go see Mary Michael Jordan today. But Watson is presented by our friends at Simpsons Meats. And look, the rubber meets the road. This is the big steak on the table right now. Tennessee, Sean and I were just talking a second ago, and he was opining as how the margin in that game. Really two plays. You had the safety, and you had the pass before the end zone. Tennessee is right in that game. They're in the game statistically. They're in the game from the eyeball test. But, Watson, I would like for you to unpack for me what happened at the end of the half, because we've had a robust debate on here all week. Was it bad quarterback play, a bad call from the offensive coordinator, Josh Heupel? Where do you come down?
I don't come down on anybody awful. Nothing was bad. It wasn't a great call. Let's start with that. The first thing, to me, I've run that exact play in a playoff game with the exact same grouping, formation grouping, personnel grouping. And we had a 4th and 2 going in to tie the game about the 30-yard line. And it wasn't on the goal line. And then I sent all my heavy personnel in, ran a play action pass. They knew that we weren't going to run the ball 2 yards away. And I had an All-American receiver over there with me that had already caught about 8 or 9 balls in that game. And so we ended up incomplete pass, lost the game. So I've been there. I've done what Josh did. When you've got 9 seconds left and both sides have called timeouts, the other side knows you're not going to run the ball because you have no timeouts. So you're going to get 2 plays instead of 1. So it's going to be a pass. So to me, when they know it's going to be a pass, I did the same thing. Put your best players out there, your receivers, and throw the ball. And then on the last time, there'll be 3 seconds left or so, somewhere around that. And now you can run or throw and do what you want because now the defense don't know what you're doing. So that's the first thing to me. I did exactly what Josh did. I put the wrong personnel grouping in, and when they know it's a pass. The second thing Alabama did is they knew it was a pass, so their structure in the secondary, it was either a 3-deep zone or it was an in-and-out man. The free safety was in the middle of the field, and I think on flow, he had the deep third to the side of the flow of the pass. So they opened to the weak side, sneaked the tight end into the deep, and sneaked the other tight end into the flat. Well, the corner leveled. Instead of taking the tight end deep, the corner and the linebacker taking the guy in the flat, the corner levels, the safety in the middle of the field goes over the top and takes the tight end. And so the corner's sitting there to take the one coming to the flat. I'm not sure that Tennessee expected that. That was a pretty good call by Alabama, in my opinion. The second thing that happened is they're blocking with an I formation tailback has got the first block off the tackle. So he's coming from 7 yards deep. There was penetration to that side. You'd like to have a quicker blocker on that guy. But when you're coming from that deep, there's going to be penetration. And I don't think Joey could see very well at all. The third thing, I promise you, that was said to him, you cannot hold this ball. It's got to be out of your hand because we want time left for one more play if we don't score. And so I think he threw a little quick, not seeing the corner that had leveled. And everybody said it was inside. It was, but he wasn't open. The ball should have been thrown away or take a shot at the tight end deep in the end zone to me. That's my feeling. So the last one that I would put it on would be Joey. And it was not a good throw, to say the least. So to me, if he had it to do over, he's going to put his good receivers out there and throw a pass incomplete, then now decide to put your heavy people back in and run or throw. The other thing I think is it's not good to be on the center. You're not under the center that much. When you're under the center and you fake that ball, your eyes are not on what's happening in the secondary. So you fake the ball, and now you look up after the fake, and you're going 1-2. There's a deep guy and a shallow guy. And he went to the shallow guy, but his eyes, if he had been in the shotgun, would have seen a lot more as he faked. His eyes can be seeing all of that. So I think that was harder, and they're not under the center that much anyway. So that's what I saw on the play. It's a combination of a whole lot of things. But the last person that I would blame is the quarterback on that one.
Watson Brown breaking it down scientifically, moving right to left across your device. It is a Wednesday with Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, who source their meat from farms that are on pasture, on purpose, comfortably continuing a tradition that began right in 1888 on the great Jim Simpson's family farm. They've got steaks, they've got burgers, they've got sausages, they've got roast, they've got chicken. And here's the thing, none of it's hormonal. All of it is raised the way, well, the old school way, if you will, and it's delicious, and you're going to taste the difference, and you're going to feel different, and the whole thing. And they also have milk and honey and jam and eggs and all the best that East Tennessee has to offer at their corner store, West Knoxville off Level Road, right down the street from Fanrun Radio. Simpson's Meats, Ladies and Germs. They're online at simpsonsmeats.com, and they're really incredible. And I do mean germs, having met several of you and kissed several of your necks. I do mean germs. As Watson Brown joining us today on a Wednesday with Watson Brown. So Watson's take on that ill-fated play is there's just enough blame to go around. Look, it's very fashionable to blame the quarterback on that play. One other thing about it, Madison in Texas sent me a clip today. It looked like, because he said this yesterday in a phone call, that the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. It does look like the ball got tipped at the line of scrimmage. Watson, does the pass become more tippable because of the formation you're in that allows the end to get more depth? Is that sort of what you were getting at?
The pass was more tippable because the guy that's blocking that guy was so deep in the backfield.
Okay.
So that defensive end is going to have more penetration. If you've got a closer guy to make that block, you don't get that same penetration.
Gotcha.
But when your tailback is the primary blocker, and he was the primary blocker, they turned the lineman all to the backside. So his backside was well protected, but the front side was not protected as well. And if that tight end had gone to the flat, and you tried to sneak somebody up, then that corner would have taken the tight end, the tight end on the line of scrimmage. He went vertical, and that's where I say they're playing in and out mans, or they're playing a rotation 3-deep zone, meaning you fake the ball weak, that free safety in the middle field comes over the top of that, and he takes the deep guy, and then the corner takes the flat guy. So they had it well covered. They had the perfect call, whether it was some zone or it was in and out man. I mean, in and out man, Tony, the tight end goes vertical, the deep guy takes that one, and then the corner is looking for something in the flat. So it was one of the two, but it was the great call against the play that Josh decided to run. The ball should have been thrown away.
The great Watson Brown breaking it down. Let me do this. I forgot to do a legal here. I got to keep it live and legal. Give me 10 seconds. I'll give you the world.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fanrun Radio.
Let me park on the call, Watson, one more time, because it's the focal. It's really the key play in the game. It's where the game turned. Because after the interception for the touchdown, the game's over. You've been involved in a lot of football. Matt Dixon's a smart guy. He's on me on our Twitter space at halftime, and he says, Tony, the Vols from here have to play a perfect second half if they're going to get out of here with a win. And I mean perfect, as in perfect game in baseball, as in picture perfect. And that's just not going to happen in that environment. So I want to go back one more time. Tennessee comes out in that formation to begin with, right? DeBoer sees it and takes a timeout. Walk me through what DeBoer is thinking and why he takes a timeout there. Was he going to take a timeout regardless of what the formation was because there's 6 seconds on the clock and there's no timeouts and he wanted to see what Tennessee came out in? Or did he call timeout in your mind for a specific reason? Let's walk through that sequence of events.
Probably the first one, to be very honest, that if they had been in some kind of spread set, I think he would have called a timeout and talked through what they wanted to play to that. When they came out in the power set, he immediately brought them over and said, guys, I'm sure that they're in a power formation, but I cannot see them running the football right here. They're going to want two plays. They don't want to just put it all on this run. So it's going to be two plays. And I saw where the defensive back said, watch for the pop pass. That was not the pass that was called, by the way. They don't get credit for knowing exactly what's coming. The pop pass that Tennessee throws a lot is fake the ball, and it's a tight end vertical right up the middle of not up the middle, but right up the seam.
Yes.
If you know, they've scored many touchdowns on that play.
Tons of them.
Many.
Yes.
And line up in different formations, but it's pretty much the same play. Fake the ball and hit the tight end right up the seam.
Yes.
That wasn't what they called. That was not the pop pass. That was a flood pass. It was a two-man side instead of a three-man side. And so they took the tight end to the corner of the end zone and released the other tight end, who was the fullback in the backfield, to the flat. That's what they did. And he was behind the quarterback. He wasn't offset. So he got there a little late too, because of where he was lined up. I think he was directly behind the quarterback, like a fullback. And then he released to the flat with the other tight end in the deep corner of the end zone. So, but I do think Alabama told their players, pass is coming right here. No way they're going to run it. And I wouldn't have either. That would not have been a running play right there. Josh, I'm sure, felt the exact same way. And I promise you, after the play was over, did what I did when I called that same exact play. Now, I had two blockers instead of a deep tailback, but there was nobody open. And Trey Lamb, who's the head coach at Tulsa right now, was my quarterback, and he had to try to put it to the deep guy, and his incomplete pass. And it basically finished the game for us. We had to score right there in the first round of the playoffs. So I've been there, called the play, and regretted it after I did it.
And there's just the thing about your sport is you don't get a do-over. No, the other thing that Sean and I,
it ain't Monday morning, buddy.
Well, the other thing that Sean and I love about the SEC in this modern era is all these teams lay right on top of each other. Like today, I have Alabama at the very top of the league. They're my number one team after Saturday. I have Texas A&M number 2. The difference between Tennessee, who I have on the outside looking into the playoffs right now, they're going to have to play their way out. Yeah, they got to win out.
I don't think you'll get in with 3.
No, I don't think you will either.
Too many twos. There'll be too many twos this year in the league.
I think that's right. And Watson, the difference in these games is getting negligible now. The difference in these teams. It is like literally 1 or 2 plays. It's like watching NFL football on a Sunday when these games are really, really close. And every call you make, man, gets scrutinized. Every decision you make gets scrutinized.
Alabama's been in, 4 of those? And won all 4.
Isn't that amazing?
They were tied with Georgia.
Yeah.
And they were on the win. They were tied with Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And they were tied with Missouri.
Yep.
And that game with Tennessee, just like the Vanderbilt game, that score does not show how tight that football game was.
Yep.
And Tennessee, I thought, had one more time. They had the interception, the 2-point play, but when they got that turnover after they went down and scored and got that turnover and didn't do anything with that, I thought that was the 3 biggies in the ball game.
Agree.
But that game is very tight, and you could play them again tomorrow, and Tennessee could very well win the game.
I'll add you another.
They're two very equal football teams.
I'll add you another biggie, Watson. That first series of the game after Tennessee goes 3 and out, and they've got Alabama pinned with good special teams play. They've got them pinned down there on their goal line, and they get him in a 3rd and 13. And this kid, who the game is really slowed down for, which you told us to watch for this coming into the game last weekend, just how he's just so in control out there. He's sliding his feet. He's out there on the right. He slides back to the middle, and he finds somebody right open in the middle because we couldn't hold him long enough in the pattern. And they convert that 3rd down and get down the field and score a touchdown. That's a huge, huge series in that game, Watson, right there. It's kind of hidden, but it's a huge series. So
he's just playing so good right now.
Yeah.
And they're running the ball just good enough.
Yep.
Just good enough.
Yep.
And they're playing to a style that I haven't seen DeBoer ever play to, ever. His Washington teams when he went deep into the playoffs.
Yeah. And
big play offense, and they completely changed. And it happened at Georgia, and I don't know that they went in to do that, but they kept the ball so long. They come back the next week and have Vanderbilt, and they say, we cannot let Vanderbilt's offense. There's a lot of difference in the offense and defense of Vanderbilt.
Yep.
We cannot let Vanderbilt's offense keep this. We can't give it to them.
Yep.
they're hard to stop. We cannot. And so I think they've fallen into this play style, and it carried right through Missouri, and it carried right through the Tennessee game. And Tony, they've come out on top in all four of those, and not one of them was a dominant football game. So Alabama is not just dominant. They're winning the close games right now. Now, can they keep doing that? Maybe so, because once you get on a roll and that confidence level comes, it's hard to get that turned around.
And it's the little things, man. Like, and one thing Watson said is when they called that timeout, they came out basically reading what Tennessee was going to do. Once they saw it, and Tennessee decided to come out in the same thing again. And then you also said, because I'm listening here, you also said the safety on the play makes a hell of a break on the ball. Great read. But he was in a spot to do it.
Safety is when the ball snapped, there's a safety sitting dead over the center.
Yeah.
And he's the one that took the deep guy in the back corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
So, and again, his eyes have got to be on that guy.
Everybody's reading
because
what
so they're
reading.
Playing some kind of in and out or some kind of flow 3 deep zone, meaning quarterback fakes to my right, I'm flowing over the top to my right.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was, but it was one of the two things. And leaving the corner to be the guy to take the guy in the flat, 9 times out of 10, that's a linebacker running with that guy in the flat. But this was a level corner that took that. And Joe, I don't think Joey saw it. I just don't think he saw that. I don't think he would have ever let that ball go if he'd seen that corner level like that. And I think there's people in his face, when you turn your back to fake the ball to that deep tailback, Tony, your eyes are not on anything. And then after you fake, your eyes have now got to focus on what's to see down the field. And I think there was a guy in his face, and I do not think he saw that corner in the flat whatsoever. I think he thought the guy was wide open. Now, that's a guess. I'm not in the film room with him.
No,
but that's what I saw after coaching quarterbacks for 800 years.
No, it's tough.
I just don't think Joey saw the cornerback.
It's tough. And DeBoer is showing a range right now, which is kind of impressive, right? The way they're sort of managing this team, because if you look at the pace in the game the other night, it was a briskly played game because Tennessee's kind of doing the same thing. They're not going like herky-jerky fast in these games either, Watson, which is kind of interesting.
Not
right?
as much. No,
not
they're
as
not.
much.
They're not this year. They're still going fast, but it's not near
herky-jerky.
as much of the game
as
it's been in the last few years.
Yeah.
It is not.
So,
and that may be because their defense hasn't just been great. There may be reasons for that we just don't know. That the philosophy in the meeting rooms is we're going to have to cover a little more this year for our defense than we've had to in the past years.
Which, by the way, they do. Cinco, Penny, for your thoughts here as we visit with Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpsons Meats. Online at simpsonsmeats.com. Makes a great gift idea. You want to send, you can ship them anywhere in the country, and they do it each and every day. Online at simpsonsmeats.com. See what we're talking about. Go ahead, Sean.
Coach, a couple things, detail things for you as the head coach. First of all, when you see things when they say that guys are lined up wrong or it's a offensive pass interference, not only our coach, most head coaches will spend an inordinate amount of time arguing with a line judge or someone like that. I know you're venting. You said you made the referees earn their money when you were a head coach.
Too much.
But what's the point? What's the point of that? I mean, I know they're frustrated, but it would seem to me it's like in baseball. If your umpire's calling the high strike, adjust immediately and then work it out later. Or is this just concentration stuff on the kids' part, et cetera? Because we're seeing a lot of that here at Tennessee, and we've seen a lot of that stuff through the years. And our main playing caller, Coach Heupel, who's also the game manager, seems to be distracted a lot with that stuff, with these multitasks. Another thing, when you're the head coach and your defense is consistently giving up these 3rd and longs because of the way they're setting things up, at what point do you go down and say, look, Holmes, we're going to have to try something different. This is just not working.
Two great questions, Sean. Two great questions. I always told myself that I was letting them know they couldn't walk all over us down there and make these calls. So that was that personal thing I'd get into again. Looking back on it, that was a joke. These guys are not calling something personal or trying to help somebody win a game. I just don't believe that. I don't think that's their thought in their mind when they throw the flag or whatever. And it was a distraction for me because I was doing it all. I was the head coach, the philosophical of what we're going to do through the game and during the game, and I was the play caller. I was all of it, 100% play caller. Only me. I never would ask anybody during a series, what do you think? Ever. Never did that in 32 years as a head coach. So I look back on it, and it hurt me because when you're doing that, you've lost focus on what you better be focused on, and especially if we had the ball. Like I said about when I'm the UAB and got a chance to beat Georgia and late in the game, and if we score, we're in the lead, and we're down around the 15-yard line, and blah, blah, blah. We end up punting. And I look back on it, and all I did once that was yell at that guy over there with me. And I'm having to call the plays. So I don't see an advantage to it. I wouldn't be that way if I did it again. But I always told myself I wasn't losing my cool. I was letting them know you can't just walk on us here and keep throwing these flags. I'm going to tell you I don't think you're right. And but it did no good. It did no good whatsoever. And what was the second piece? That was a great question. Tell me what the second piece was.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's when your defense is consistently giving up third and long because of the way they're calling the defense, and it's obvious what's going on here. At what point, even if you don't have the personnel to run what you run, at what point as the head coach do you walk down the hall and say, "Look, Banks, Coach, we're just going to have to do something. We're dying by 1,000 paper cuts here. What do you got?"
Well, I was heavily involved on that side too. I knew everything that was going on. I spent time each day in the defensive meeting room on that side of the ball. I wouldn't wait till the next week. I did it. I can remember in a game going in at halftime saying, "Look, we've been dropping three. We thought that's the plan. I think we got to stop it now. Let's go back to our base." And we played much better in the second half. I was one, Sean, that would majorly never called a defensive play, but even between series, before we'd even get the ball, I'd get on the phone. Maybe the Ari might be standing right next to me, and not yell or scream, but say, "Look, we need to think about something here. Give me what you're going to do next, but what we're doing right now, it's not working in this situation, and we got to find a way to get this stopped during this ball game." And I always met with the defensive coach right after I finished with the offensive staff at halftime. And before I'd go to the team, the defensive staff, if they were even through, I wouldn't let them go to their players till they talked to me. And then so I'd go over to the defensive staff and say, "Okay, what's up? What are we doing here in the second half?" So I'm one that believes in that, or believed in it. Good or bad, that was me, and that don't mean that's the right way to do it at all. That was just me, and so I did get involved on that side of the ball pretty heavy.
Watson, why is Tennessee's zone defense so horrendous? What do you say?
I think it starts from the back end more this year. They've just not been real good back there, and everything is the play caller ends up having to think about that all the time. I just think those injuries, and they're just not as good back there as I've seen them in years past. They were solid against Alabama against the run the other night, and when they get the rush to passer, they're pretty good. They're one of the better pass rushers, even if they don't get sacks. There's bodies around the guys.
Yeah.
But I just think it starts on the back end this year with Tennessee.
And teams are going to continue to exploit it. What would you do if you were them? Would you play more man and just take your chances? Because invariably when they go to these zones, it seems like it's when they get themselves in a lot of trouble.
That's tough. I mean, just when you're not very good, not as good as you've been. I'm not saying they're bad, because they're a good football team. And they're very close to being a playoff team.
But their back line's not very good. Well,
but
it's their Achilles
heel. They're not
heel.
as good as they've been, and they're not as good as they could be.
That's
because there's some guys missing back there.
Yeah, that's right.
And Carter just hasn't played near as well. I just think all the stuff in the summer is he's just not come out of it great.
Great point.
He hasn't had a great year.
Yep.
Not bad, but I thought he was a good bit better the year before too. And I just think it's hard. I mean, you can sit there and say, well, we'll call some man, we'll call zone when you're not good at either. It's tough, man. And it's just a hard thing to do. I would say they'll take some more chances because it's been a struggle for them. But Arkansas has got a really, really good quarterback. Alabama has a really, really good quarterback. So the last two they've played are two of the better quarterbacks in the country. And they've got games coming up where it might not be as bad. So I still think this team could run this thing out. I really do. They need to play good this weekend, and they usually do. Josh's teams have always pretty good at coming back after they've had a tough one. And the big one I'm looking at it, there'll be two after the Kentucky game. It's going to Florida, in my opinion, and it's playing Vanderbilt at home. And those are the two biggies. And you never know when a coach gets fired. That's usually not a good thing for the opposing team. Because I think they'll rally around the guy, but by the time they go to Florida, maybe it's settled back in a little bit. But you saw what UAB did to undefeated Memphis with an interim coach, so that's a dangerous thing when you get to that point.
Watson, can you believe what you saw from LSU and Vanderbilt the other day? I mean, think about the discrepancy in payroll.
We both said it on the air.
You called it.
I think LSU will lose at least two more.
You called it right.
I don't think they're near as good.
I
don't think they're very athletic, but they're not physical. Tony, they're not physical on either side of the ball.
They got whumped.
And
they got really whipped, didn't they? They got whipped. Vanderbilt whipped them.
Said that
yes. Vanderbilt whipped them. Yes.
They got out physical in that football game. Vanderbilt don't punt to the fourth quarter. And don't tell me that's a great defense if that's the case. So no, I don't think LSU is one of the better teams in the league, and I think they'll lose. If they lose to Saturday at home to A&M, they might lose three more.
You mean LSU? Yeah.
If LSU loses to A&M Saturday at home, look out. Look out.
I listed my favorite players in college football to watch today, and I had Nico in there. I had the two wide receivers at Ohio State. Those guys are so next level. Those guys are electric. And they take the air out of the ball, or they could be scoring 75 points on people, but they don't. That's
last year.
That's not their game.
You remember last year before they got in the playoffs, they were so conservative.
That's right.
And then when they finally got in the playoffs, they loosened up and they were hard to stop.
People better watch out.
They're kind of doing the same thing again this year.
People better watch out for that. But Cinco, my number one player in college football to watch is that kid from Vanderbilt. That son of a gun the other day in that game when it was tight, and he made that play around midfield where he kept it alive with his feet and kept looking downfield. That freaking kid competes, man. That Pavia guy.
It was fourth down, Tom.
It was a fourth down.
Fourth down.
He competes, man. I like that kid a lot.
I thought it was the play of the game.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
I thought it was you give LSU the ball right there at midfield.
Yep.
I thought it was the play of that football game. And that game had certain big plays in it, just like the Tennessee game did. Who are the better teams right now in the league? They've all got good quarterbacks, guys. They've got quarterbacks playing well right now. Even the guy at Georgia, Gunnar Stockton, is playing well. He played lights out the other night in their game. I mean, the better teams right now are playing solid defense. Maybe not great. I don't see a great defense in the league.
Oh, no.
Not a great one.
I agree with that.
But I'm seeing good quarterback play on the better teams.
Hey, Cinco Pavia, your thoughts on that kid? Because I love watching him play.
Yeah, I do too. And it goes back to the thing where this is college football. I'm not interested. The whole thing about, well, your school doesn't produce NFL wide receivers. Your school doesn't produce NFL quarterbacks. I don't give a rip. A guy that's 5'10" and can cause havoc at quarterback or whatever he is, He's a great college football player, and that's what I think is great. I don't care that, I want to see what you do in college. That's why Jalen Hyatt deserves a Blitnikoff award, because what he did in college.
That's right.
And that's and not just because he played at Tennessee. If he, again, I don't like when they say, well, this coach doesn't run a pro. I don't give a rip. You're a head coach of a college team. You're getting paid by a college university. It's college football, and that's why Diego Pavia's of the world. That's why some other kids of the world. That's why I love the Cal quarterback, the young kid who nobody recruit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he just comes out of nowhere, like Marshall Faulk in the day at San Diego State.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to play running back when everyone thought he was the DB. That's to me. That's what college football is all about. Not whether or not you can succeed or you're going to be a first round. I don't care. I want college.
And by the way, my 5 favorite, Watson, are Pavia #1, Tate Smith from Ohio State, Love and Price. Those sound like 2 law firms. Love and Price, the 2 running backs at Notre Dame that are phenomenal. Might be the 2 best running backs in the country on the same team. I got Joey Football #4 because he's an incredible story. And then I give Nico a nod because with the way UCLA is playing, and I know he left that game banged up the other day, but they're on a winning streak. He's playing very, very well, and he's become a really fun to watch football player.
Those 5 are good. The neat thing about college football this year, Tony, you can probably name another 15 to go with them.
Oh, no doubt.
There's another 15 right there doing a lot of the same stuff.
No doubt.
Sean is so right. I haven't been at all the great schools through the years, and I've had so many great quarterbacks that were 5'10" or 5'11" or whatever. And I'm telling you, you can't. It ain't about how many you put in the league. You're going to be pretty good if you're putting a lot in the league. I get that, but you can also be pretty good and not being doing that, especially a year here and a year there. Maybe it's not consistent always, but you're going to have them pop up a year here and a year there, and that's exactly what happens. I mean, look at Bo Nix, who was just kind of okay at Auburn, and then he takes off and goes to Oregon, and he's a different player, and he's not very tall, and now he's a great player at Denver. There's so many of those stories, and Sean is so right. That's what makes college football why it is, in my opinion, the most popular sport. Professional or whatever, college, professional, college football is the most popular sport in the country.
I want to ask, how do you see the Kentucky matchup? Is that a game where Tennessee should be a little concerned? It seems like it could be low scoring. Kentucky wants to play keep away. It's been close up there. How do you see that going?
I don't think it should be that close because I don't think Kentucky can score with Tennessee. If Tennessee just goes up there and plays the way they've been playing, Kentucky is going to give up too many points that they can't keep up with. They moved the ball the other night. They can't score points.
Awful.
They just don't have any real dynamic guys to make big plays.
No.
And they're moving the ball. They had 20 first downs to 8. Texas wins that football game with 8 first downs.
Hey, Watson, your brother was
there.
there.
Give me a break, man.
Watson, they got 2 in the first. They had 2 in the second half. Watson, that's unwatchable. Now your brother was there, okay, and you know these people. They spent people that I trust say they have the second highest payroll in the deal. Okay,
well, I don't doubt that at all.
Do they bring Arch Manning back next year? In your opinion,
that's good. That's a good question. That is a good question. Does Arch come back next year? Does he put his name in the portal? Maybe he wants an offense that fits him better or something. I don't know. That's going to be a big question mark.
It's a great
question. But there's a lot left to play.
Yes.
There's a lot on the table. Yeah. And Texas is very good on defense. If they were to find a way to get their offense worked out, they'll be right in the mix before this whole thing's over. But not if they don't find a way to get their offense going. And it starts with doing the right thing with their quarterback. To me, he is not a Sarkisian type offensive quarterback. That's not what he does best. It's just not.
Weird deal, man.
If he figures it out, look out. Texas could could be a factor, but they're so lucky. If they weren't real good on defense the other night, they're embarrassed.
Oh,
they get embarrassed in that game. And really, their one score was a punt return.
Oh,
it was
so
a punt
bad.
return that gave them a real short field. I mean, Kentucky's got to be sick to lose that football game.
And by the way,
and then again, look at them on the goal line.
Watson, by the way.
He ran the same play 2 plays in a row and gained 0 by the same play.
We live in a world where
that's a tough one too, buddy.
Yeah, how about this? Kentucky should have beaten Texas, and Vanderbilt should have
won that game.
Vanderbilt should have blown LSU out. If Vanderbilt didn't have that deal where they look like our defense on that 1 3rd and long where they all ran into each other at midfield, and that kid scored, that was they were getting ready to get the ball back.
Lucky to be as close as it was.
Oh, it was going to be a 3-score game. Vandy was going to blow them out.
I cannot figure out LSU on offense. What are they doing? And I'm not trying to be ugly, but I don't even know what the plan is.
Yes.
I don't know what they're trying to do. I mean, it's call a run here, call this pass. I don't see any philosophical piece to that offense at all. And I kind of feel sorry for the quarterback.
Oh, no question.
Because I just don't think he's getting any help at all.
You know what
and they got great receivers now.
You know what that?
I mean, those guys. Did you see that receiver go up the boundary and leave that cornerback from Vanderbilt?
Are you kidding?
I mean, and that's a cornerback. He left him. I mean, just flat beat him up the boundary by 5 to 10 yards. He's right with him, and I mean, he just hits a spurt and he's gone. They got some great talent at receiver.
My name for his offense this year is the buyout offense, because if he keeps it
I don't know.
he's going to get his buyout at the end of the year. They keep doing what they're doing. He's going to get his buyout.
I don't know how they were ranked 10th. It's amazing how this stuff works.
It's dumb, actually.
I knew we said it all last week. I said the one best win, you're better. The best win this week is Vanderbilt LSU. There's no way LSU beats Vanderbilt.
Hey, Watson, I didn't believe you, but I love you like a brother. I was just I could not wrap my brain around LSU's going to lose Vanderbilt this week. But you know what? My brain got oriented after I watched that. You know what I mean?
Oh.
At some point, you got to believe this, right?
It was just physicalness.
Yes.
Nothing fancy, nothing trickery, just physical football that LSU could not handle.
No, they wanted no part of that. I hope our defense tightens up before we play them, Watson, because I'm going to tell you something, man. They scare me. That game right there, the concept of that. Hey, Sean, if we played Vanderbilt tomorrow, okay, that would scare me, Sean. I'm saying that right into a microphone, here, there, or anywhere.
You got to keep the ball. You got to do what Alabama did.
Keep the ball.
Vanderbilt's one of the top offenses, I think, in the league, but they're just average, so-so on defense. And so you've got to keep the football, just like Alabama did to beat them, and you got to score points.
And hope they make a couple mistakes.
Tennessee's very capable of doing that.
And hope they make a couple mistakes.
And then you got to hope that when you finally make Vanderbilt make two critical
exactly
mistakes.
Right. Yeah.
And you got to hope that it's going to happen some.
Watson,
Alabama's kept the ball. They had it 15 more minutes than Vanderbilt. That's not happened in another game this year to Vanderbilt. Not anywhere close to that. They're the ones keeping the ball, and that's what Alabama did, and that's what Tennessee will have to do to beat them when it gets to that point. And I think it will. I think that game, one will get in and one might not get in from that football game. That's what I see as I look down the road here.
I don't know if I could live through that. Watson, I hope you have a Dwight Gooden. It's always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you, brother.
I love you guys. It's always an honor.
Love. He is so great. I'm going to clip that thing out for a YouTube short later, him talking about that 4th down play. Nobody in the world broke that play down like Watson Brown did. Nobody. I love him. But, Cinco, you were going to say, as he's presented by our friends at Simpsons Meats, they're online at simpsonsmeats.com. Click on the link over at tclub.team, tonybasilio.com, our blog, and check it out. And then we're going to open it up for some phone calls on the other side. Sean, you were saying.
Yeah, I don't think Vanderbilt has drastically increased their roster. They have brought in some nice pieces. Jordan Matthews, our DB transferred over there. But I think what's happened is Diego Pavia has, for 40 years, I've watched Vanderbilt play other teams' uniform and other teams' brand and other teams' history instead of playing the guys that are actually on the field. And because Vanderbilt would play them close, almost everybody close through the mid fourth quarter, and then somehow bungle it up. And I think now Diego Pavia has given, just him alone, he's given them the confidence that, hey, no, we're playing the guy in the uniform. Forget what's on the side of the helmet. Forget how many times we're actually playing the guy in front of us. Let's go get it. That's what I see. That's the big difference in Vanderbilt.
He is one hell of a player. As we take a brief timeout and come back with more on the other side. To that caller, stay right there because I want to talk to you. As we continue with more, it is your Tony Basilio Show, and we roll it back on a Wednesday after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline, online at tldlogistics.com.
Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we're the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Well, it's past high noon. It's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors. Black cherry, mango, pineapple, just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Tony B back with you, 865-200-5402. I thought we were going to get a resolution on the Tony Vitello thing yesterday. By the way, we need your tickets for the New Mexico State game. Our tailgate for the kids, our 10th annual tailgate for the kids, our Keith Hatfield tailgate for the kids. This was his idea. The late, great Keith Hatfield, who had a heart for those kids, said, why don't we do this? And I thought, you know what? We'll never be able to do that, yada, yada, yada. Kendall Rogers is speculating online that we're going to get a resolution in the Tony Vitello thing today. I think it's going to be pretty soon. I thought it was going to happen yesterday. It's been extremely interesting. I could list you a million reasons why Tony would stay. And I can list you reasons why he would go. There's only 30 of those jobs in Major League Baseball. When his name was first floated, people thought it was a joke. Personally, this is me. I think Tony could be successful doing whatever he wants to do. He's a highly intelligent person. He's an affable guy. He's not a phony. He's not a fraud in any way, shape, or form. So he would be a guy that would get respected at that level, because he wouldn't try to go in there and force himself. He would understand that, hey, I'm an interloper coming in here, and what the Athletic laid out regarding him and the history of college coaches. Max Scherzer is going to play his last year in San Francisco as sort of a, hey, guys, you can listen to him. This guy's my buddy. He has credibility. The Tingler guy is another guy that played, who was the one-time manager of the San Diego Padres, apparently is in this equation as well, if in fact he does go to San Francisco. So we'll see what happens. But Tony is a guy that's has a deal here where he's making a lot of money. He's got the tiger by the tail. He's got a new stadium coming online. He's got a deal here where he's got about zero relationship with his athletic director, and I don't really think he trusts his athletic director. And I think that's the crux of this. Now, I'm going to say this one more time. If we hear here shortly that he's leaving, it's not Danny White's doing. It's Tony Vitello's doing. Okay? This is not Danny White's fault. But like a lot of things in life and a lot of things we cover, and we're pretty good at nuance here. This is a nuanced deal. And the nuance is that, and we have to kind of deal with this. The nuance is that they've created an environment here where he would look around. The athletic director has created an environment where looking around would be appealing. But I'm not going to blame him if Tony goes. If Tony goes, ultimately it's because he wants to try his hand in Major League Baseball. But the AD is a very interesting personality. I'll say that. And those that know him know what I'm talking about. And those that don't. And it's all good. But he's very interesting, the way he manages. And here's the thing. If the Tennessee job opens, I think there are a ton of people that will want that job. Like big names in that sport. That's what Tony's done. So no matter what happens here, Tony has left this thing. Sean, how would you even quantify how much better he's left this job than he found it if he goes? How could you even put that into words, Sean? Could you put it into words, Sean?
No, I think that he didn't. He's bigger than the program. He's bigger than the product he made. He has pushed. College baseball has always been good, but and they've had programs that have been longer than we have. But he has had in my opinion, I don't think this is hyperbole. I think he's had a Tiger Woods type effect on college baseball. I'm not saying it's the sole reason, but he's certainly part of the equation that enables us to watch every SEC baseball game on TV. He's the reason why a lot of us will watch the Major League Baseball draft. I wouldn't even waste time doing that before. He has me watching other games just because now I'm enthralled with who's going to make it to a regional, who's super regional. I guarantee you there are people that had no clue what a regional or super regional was around here because we just haven't been that much. But I think he has been very similar to what, not the same because he's not a pioneer, but he's been very similar to what Pat Summitt did there. And I wish him well. Whatever he wants to do, for whatever reason he wants to do it,
yep.
I would thank him for taking an absolute comatose program with no interest from the public or, more importantly, no interest from the administration and made it a priority here. And I would say, Danny White, you better have a plan because just for me, my season tickets have gone up threefold and my seat view hasn't changed. My experience hasn't changed. In fact, it's been a construction zone for 2 years. And it's only because the only justification that I have for that increase is Tony Vitello. And if you don't have a plan in place, there are going to be a lot of people, I think, they're going to make business decisions. This is not a tantrum. I'm not throwing my toys out of the crib, but when you go up threefold plus for baseball because of a figurehead, and that figurehead leaves, you better have a plan in place to justify keeping that price. And it's not because of the stadium. Get real.
My thing is, people are asking me, what's Tony going to do? Listen, I've had one text with him, and he didn't text me back. And my text to him was Saturday when I saw that thing break. Congratulations for you on your opportunity. I wish you nothing but success. And if you do leave this place, you've left it a lot better than you found it, and you've been a great member of this community and a good friend to our program. And let me tell you something. I mean every word of that. If we get here within the hour that he's going, I'm going to get emotional on the air. I'm sorry, just like he is. And I saw John Reed. There was a guy yesterday that, and I wish I remember his name, from Channel 8. I'm sorry, Sartori.